Alright, hello guys, OverBidden here. In this video, I'm gonna talk about my overall experience of climbing a brand new account to Diamond 50 LP in League of Legends mid-season of Season 8. Today's date is July 12th, 2018. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about my overall experience of this climb and what I think some of the tips that are really helpful for my climb. I'm also going to talk about the champion that I was using, some tips and tricks of how to using this champion, Twisted Fate, and yeah, let's get things started. So at the beginning of this season and also the beginning of this year, about February 2018, I played on a brand new account, climbed that account to Diamond 50 LP in about 50 games, and I believe I also made a video of that by playing the old Aurelia. After that, I was really busy in work and school, all that, so I didn't play a single game of League for about half a year. As you can see, this account has been decayed all the way to Gold 1, so recently I had some free time, so I pick up a account that has not started a single placement matches. I finished my placement matches and I believe I ended up in Platinum 3, and after about 80 games I was able to get to Diamond 50 LP again with Diamond 4 MMR as well. So the champion that I was playing mainly was Twisted Fate. As you can see, all my other champions have a pretty bad result. I'm pretty sure if I spent more time into these champions, their win rates and KDA can increase, but Twisted Fate was giving me the best result this time, especially for the last 2-3 days. I have a really good win rate and KDA, right? Pretty much all the games that I played, even on the games that I lose, I was having a pretty huge impact for the game. There was a indicator, I believe, set by one of the top challenger players. He wrote a guy, I forgot her name, but he was the Rengar and the Riven one trick. He was saying that if you have a champion that have about 55% win rate and have about 3 KDA, you can slowly climb with that champion at the tier that you are playing. So according to that, I have a 65% win rate and 3.8 KDA. I should be able to climb higher, right? At this point, especially after the winter of 2017, I consider myself a low to mid diamond player. So climbing to Diamond 50 LP shouldn't be a struggle for me, right? I've done that since season 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7, 8 times already, right? And also I was also doing this by playing solo, right? What I want to say, yeah, let's talk about Twisted Fate, this champion. I got the inspiration, well, from a lot of sources, right? The main source is from the official Dopa channel, right? If you don't know who Dopa is a very famous Korean Twisted Fate, kind of a Twisted Fate one-trick player, but he's also good at a lot of other things. And he recently climbed to Chinese, the biggest server, #1 by playing Twisted Fate and a lot of other things. So definitely check him out. So that's the best source of my inspiration. Also, there are some other sources that I learned from. If I go to OPGG and I click Twisted Fate, there's about 4 or 5 players that I look to their match history and see how they do. This guy is a challenger player. I don't know who he is, but he plays a very interesting style, which he goes for the corrupting potion, right? Most of the time he goes for corrupting potion, and then for the masteries, he does not go for the mana flow ban, which I think because he has the corrupting potion, so he has a lot of mana regen, so he does not need it. So he rather have the nullifying orb. Nullifying orb is kind of a useless choice in my opinion, but if you don't need a mana flow ban, then well, take something that is less more useful, right? And then for the secondary tree, he always goes for the inspiration, right? The minion dementorializer, is that how you pronounce it? I'm just gonna call it a minion thing. And also because he's taking the corrupting potion, he wants it to last longer, right? Oh well, let's talk about my choice of ruins first. My standard go-to ruins is that I take Arcane Common because it's really good for Twisted Fate, kind of the standard one, right? And then I go for the Mana Flow Ban. Mana Flow Ban, it used to be that Twisted Fate does not have the mana problem, but I think after so many mage changes, without the Mana Flow Ban, I feel like Twisted Fate does not have enough mana to shove the wave, also have enough mana to use ultimate to pressure other lands. So taking the Mana Flow Ban, every time you hit one of your abilities, either Q or W on the enemy, you will have your maximum mana increased by 25, or you have some of your mana regen back to you, right? One thing to keep in mind is that if I have a red card and my red card damaged a minion, but the AoE effect damaged the enemy champion, the mana flow ban effect will also happen. Okay, so that's that. And then I take celerity because according to Dopa, right, movement speed is extremely important on Twisted Fate. A lot of players, I'm gonna go to like those top 5 Twisted Fate players in NA. A lot of players, they take absolute focus for more damage, but to me, having more movement speed on Twisted Fate makes more sense to me, and then Scorch for more damage. The secondary tree, I go for the minion thing for more better land control, and having the CDR is always good, right? Oh, by the way, I also linked 2 games that I played in my promote from Platinum 1 to Diamond 5, right? The first one and the second one. We'll put a link down below if you're interested. And yeah, that is my go-to ruins. And let's go to the top 5 players, top 5 players, and see how they use their runes. So this guy, because he always goes for the corrupting potions, he doesn't go for the mana flow ban, and yeah, that's his go-to. And the second player, I think this guy gives me Hex gives me the most, well, not the most, but almost the most inspiration other than Dopa. Not directly though, because Hex always talks to Malix, and Malix exchange a lot of Hex ideas to me. Hex is a challenger player, or used to be a challenger player, that only plays TF. If we go to his champions, and as you can see, he picked the challenger in season 5 and 6, right? Season 3, yeah, he only played TF, right? About 200 games. Season 4, he spends like thousands of games, right? Season 5, thousands of games. Season 6, thousands of games, right? Season 7, he didn't really play. I think he went back to play Smash. SSBM stands for Smash Brothers, Super Smash Brothers, whatever. Just that game. Okay, he went to play that game, and season 8 he came back. But according to Max, which is a good friend of Hax, and also my friend, Hax has not been back to his former self. And during the winter of 2017, I was using Hax's idea, also his build, right? He was going for, back then everybody was using the spell ban, the book, right? The book that can trench spells. It was really strong, right? Not everybody used the Arcane Common, so the TF's damage is pretty low compared to the the version right now. You cannot kill the opponent, so what do? You serve as a utility champion. You go for the Door and Shield start. It's insane. The Door and Shield regens so much health. I was able to use that build, that idea, right? TF, right? Not dying means winning during the landing phase. You keep up with the CS, you not die, and you out the side lane, and you win by doing that. I was able to hit mid diamond by playing Hack's way, right? And I believe Malik's hit diamond 2 as well. Anyway, so Hack's idea is that he doesn't really think movement speed is that important. He always goes for absolute focus. He wants more damage, and his secondary tree is always resolve. I don't know, maybe at a high level, it's hard to really gain profit by pushing the wave up. So that's what Hax does, right? This is pretty much his go-to setup. And then there's another guy, the third guy. This guy, it's Diamond 2. I don't know who he is. He goes for a combination of two, right? He goes for a combination of two. Also, he does not take the mana flow ban. He does not take celerity, but the secondary is the same as how I take. And for some hard matchups, for example, versus Fizz, he goes for the resolve. Okay? So it's a combination of a lot of ideas. And this guy, I believe he's a challenger. He goes for, sometimes he goes for the corrupting potion, sometimes he goes for the boots, and sometimes he goes for corrupting potion. I've yet to find one that he goes for the Doran ring, but kind of the same idea, but he likes to go for the perfect timing and not the celerity. I guess what we, and then the fifth guy that plays TF, he's not even playing a rank recently anymore. I guess the lesson or the thing that we can learn by looking at all this and Dopa is that you really need to have your own idea of how to play Twisted Fate, right? After a lot of games, you kind of just form your own idea, and then those ideas sometimes only work at a certain level, right? Maybe at a higher level, my idea is not going to work, so I will have to tweak that. But before that, this is the setup that works the best for me. And in terms of starting items, I go for Doran's ring for the matchups that I don't think that I need to dodge a lot of skill shot, like for example Kama. But for some other matchups, I go for boots, because that's what Dopa does, right? Dopa goes boots in a lot of matchups. I'm trying to find a matchup that I go for boots. Okay. Anyway, if in the matchup that you feel like you need to dodge a lot of skill shots, just go for boots. And then I also go for the resolve as my first tree when I play versus especially Zed, sometimes Yasuo. I go for grasp that allows me to sustain lane, right? So grasp, bomb planting, second wing to against poke, and then I believe overgrowth is the best one. And then perfect timing is the free hourglass and then CDR. Yeah, and that's the setup. And after the starting item is pretty standard. You go Doran ring, you go just boots, Rod of Ages, and you build it into Leech Band, and then the hourglass. Then you will go into Void Staff, into Death Cap. A little interesting tweak that I did comparing to how I play during the winter is that sometimes I like to go for a early, well, not really early, but kind of a early CDR boots, especially if I have not used my first ultimate, or right after I use my second ultimate, because a 10% CDR on my ultimate is really huge. I like to go for the CDR boots, and then other boots are just too expensive. The game feels like faster compared to during the winter. So having a more frequent ultimate or more frequent W or Q to just regen the mana, shaft the wave, just do things in general, it's always good. And that's also the reason I take the inspiration CDR for the one of the spells. And there's also a little interesting change that I made item-wise. Usually you finish Rod of Ages first, right? That's 9 times, 95 times out of 100 times. But for the second item, Leechman, during the winter I always go for the Shin first. There are 3 components, right? Shin, Blasting Wand, and also the Wisp. After watching how Dopa plays recently, I don't go for Shin anymore, right? As the first component of the Leech Pad. You always go for the Wisp, then the Blasting Wand, because that will give Twisted Fate enough mana to use the wild card Q to just kill the backline caster minions in 1 Q, right? You don't need to double Q the backline minions, or like 1 Q and then a 1 red card to kill the backline minions anymore. So that is really, really good. You want to spend as little time as possible inland to shaft the wave, and you want to just roam around the map, right? Either like roam into the jungle, like ultimate, just do your thing, right? Because after level 6, level 7, you don't want to like stay in land for too long anymore. You want to shaft the wave, disappear, shaft the wave, disappear, to create pressure for other lands, right? Twisted Fate, you don't win the game by, well, you can win the game by pressing your land opponent, but one of the key functions of Twisted Fate is to pressure other lands. Also, there's one thing that I learned by watching a lot of Dopa, is that you are supposed to auto attack the enemy mid first tier tower if you can get away with it, right? If the enemy jungler is not as aggressive as your jungler, right? You know where the enemy jungler is, you know the enemy middle is low on mana, they will not be able to kill you, or you just think that you just want to gamble, you just want to absorb pressure, right? Absorb the enemy jungler's pressure to you rather than other lands. And then also for the faster tower takedown, you're supposed to auto attack the enemy mid tier 1 tower as much as possible. As you can see, like in one of my videos, one of my games, I was able to take down the first tier 1 tower, also the tier 2 tower, just by myself. It's insane. You will see the gameplay later. And yeah, that's how I implement that strategy. Also, you're supposed to play aggressive. I was smurfing a little bit before playing on this account. I was smurfing at about gold level, low to mid gold level. I was playing Jax, mainly Jax. I did okay, but apparently not good enough. Anyway, Jax was not a good champion to go one-on-one, like really hard one-on-one at the early levels. But the way you play a lot of matchup is that you abuse your Counter-Strike E cooldown to push up the wave, to trade with the top laner. You push up the wave and then you back, right? You gain profit that way. And then Twisted Fate is the same thing. A lot of times if the minion wave is even, you're not supposed to win a lot of 1v1s. The way you win 1v1s, the way you gain advantage, priority over the enemy laner, is that you use your wild card, you use your red card to shove up the wave, to force the enemy laner to CS under the turret, or use mana to CS. And then you can just do things with your jungler, right? Or absorb pressure that way. So I feel like I improved as a player just by a little bit, by playing just as aggressive as possible while not dying, right? Not dying is really, really important. As you can see, like I die 0 time, 1 time. That's for the level 1 invade. Like 8 times, that's the most. 2 times. I think I have 2 games that I didn't die a single time. 0, 8, right? 4, 0, like that, right? it also shows in my KDA. So that's about it for the Twisted Fate. Do I want to keep climbing? I'm not quite sure. Right, the reason that I took a long break from the game is that you really need to be like 100% focused, 24/7. You think about the game, you breathe the game, right? You like watch guides, you watch your own replays, you watch other people's guides, videos, in order to improve, in order to play the game, right? Gladly, like I was able to do it really fast in the last couple of days, but if I need to climb higher, it's gonna take me longer, so I'm not sure if I want to spend the time to do that. And last but not least, I want to talk about some tips and tricks that helped me climb to Diamond 5 this time. Okay, well, not climb to Diamond 5, but climbing in general. I feel like all these tips can be useful. Okay, no matter what position you play, right? As long as you want to improve, you want to climb, and it's gonna be helpful for you. Okay, first of all, I want to say that how to always get your primary row. As you can see, that I only have a good result on my Twisted Fate, right? On my tracks 0.3, below 1 KDA Maokai, but like I have to always get middle, right, in order to perform well. Maybe for you it's jungler or top or ADC support, whatever the case is. How do I always get that, right? We queue up the game, right? Doesn't matter how you queue up. Usually if you want to queue up middle, right, second row, you can queue up top or something. Hopefully you can play a few champions top, right? But if you queue up, if your primary row is jungler, you always queue up as middle unless your top is amazing. But I'm talking about how to always get your primary row. Okay, how to always get your primary row. If you queue up this way, you should go to an online stopwatch, set the timer to 1 minute and 5 seconds. You start the timer, right? You start the queue time, right? You only queue up for 1 minute and 5 seconds. 1 minute and 6 seconds, if you are doing solo, you are going to get your secondary row. Okay, you do not want to do that. You want to re-queue up every 1 minute and 5 seconds. That way, 100% of the time, you will get your primary row. Okay, and while you are doing that, you can like watch Reddit, right, and then YouTube, all that shit. Okay, and then yeah, you can use the online stopwatch, or you can use your phone, iPad, anything, right? So that's for how to always get your primary row. Some tips that I want to say is that rank, like the bottom line of playing rank is that it's a competition, right? You are competing with other 5 players, with your teammates. So you want to have your best condition while you're playing rank. You should not play while you are tired. You should not play when you are hungry. You should not play while you are not calm, right? Angry, right? You can see that I have a huge win streak, right? But it was not always the case. I think I have a 4-game losing streak or something. Yes, right here, 2 days ago. I have a 4-game losing streak. Why is that? Because I was hungry, right? I was hungry, and that gave me a really bad mood. So that's really, really bad. You do not want to do that, right? It's easy to say, but sometimes it's hard to implement, right? You want to just get rid of all the distractions, right? Whether it's being hungry, right? Angry, lack of sleep, all that. Okay? Also, you want to have enough rest in between games. You want to take at least, right, minimum of a 5 minutes break in between games, right? Refill water cup, right? Go to the restroom, right? Just stretch a little bit, right? And then if you happen to be on a losing streak, 2 games losing streak, 3 games losing streak, you're supposed to stop. Okay, not play anymore. All right? It's easier said than done, but if your goal is truly to climb, you gotta have some discipline to do that. Okay? What else is important? You want to stick your champion pool to like 1 or 2 champions. Okay, in my case, Twisted Fate. You ask me to play any other champions to climb to this level, right? Maybe I can, right? With some practice, but it's gonna take a lot longer, right? You want to, like, honestly, because I already told you like how to always get your primary role, right? Pick 1 or 2 champions, right? And just play on those champions so that you can be really good at it. You know the matchups, all the matchups in and out. You know how to push for advantages, right? You know how to snowball the game. Right? You know your disadvantages. You know your item build, all that. By doing that, a lot of things you can focus on a lot of other things, right? Item builds, right? Snowball, a lot of things you already know. You can just rely on your muscle memory and just to do it unconsciously. And then for the things that you need to focus on, right? Trading, CSing, right? How to like shot calling, all that. You can focus on those aspects. You can only do that by playing on the champion or champions, hopefully not more than 2, if you are really like confident on those champions. Okay. By also talking about shot calling, when playing on this 80 games, I have not talked. I pretty much didn't type at all to my teammates. Okay. Especially from like Platinum 3 to like Diamond 4. It's the most toxic ELO, right? Across all league, right? If you play on other MMR ELOs, you know what I'm talking about, right? Silver, low gold is the most pleasant one, right? Everybody's kind of nice, right? They kind of know they suck, but they know a little bit of the game. I don't know. But it's just very pleasant to play. But in this ELO, when I came back to play, holy shit, everybody just flamed the shit out of you. Especially like at the beginning, I was playing those terrible champions that I wasn't good at. People flame you. The way to counter the flame is to not to justify, like to type back, to tell them, oh, how right you are, how wrong you are. Never helped, right? Like according to your own experience, you know, I know, we all know it's not going to help. So don't type at all, right? Dopa plays in China. He doesn't even understand Chinese, okay? He streams, but he never look at the chat, never look at the donation during the stream, and he doesn't even understand like Chinese, right? So those things means nothing to him. He was able to hit rank 1. So in solo queue, according to his experience, and maybe according to your experience, but according to my experience and Dopa's experience, talking like always give worse results. Okay, so don't talk at all, right? Like your goal is to climb, it's not to like prove how right they are, right, your teammates are, right, or how right you are, how wrong they are. It doesn't really matter, right? The only thing goes with you after this game is your rank, right, and your mood, right? We play game to have fun, right? If you're not playing the game to have fun, well, play to improve. How about that? And then by typing back to your teammates, like, are you trying to improve your teammates or are you trying to like improve yourself? It just doesn't make sense, right? So do not type to your teammates, right? When the game goes south, just mute all, right? When like 2 teammates talk to each other, they flame each other, just mute all, right? You're gonna have a better experience and higher chance of winning. Okay, that's about that. And also, the last thing I want to talk about it's dueling. Maybe not really dueling, but just about a mentality, right? Dueling for me, I never duel, right? I climbed to diamond so many times. Never a single time that I duel with anybody. I always play solo. If you want to duel, yes, fine, but make sure that a few things. One of the reasons that I don't duel is that when I duel, me and my duo is always like talk to each other, and then we talk shit to my teammates. Oh, this guy is so bad. Oh, this guy, why he made such a bad play? Oh, if he just be here, like we've been so good. But you know, that's just wrong, right? You're supposed to focus on yourself, your mistakes. You're not supposed to like talk shit to your teammates. If you and your duo are talking about, oh, this guy should have done this, right? Instead of talking about your own mistake. I feel like that's just not the best way to go. Also, it's very, very important to take long breaks in between games. And sometimes when you duo, you guys just kind of, me and my duo just kind of sit there and play. We don't really take enough breaks. And even you taking enough breaks, you don't know the condition of your duo partner, right? 100% of the time. Also, if you are good enough, you shall climb just by playing by yourself, right? So I'm not totally against the dueling, but there are a lot of things that you need to take into consideration when dueling, and also, I don't know, it's just not my way to go. Okay. Anyway, this video is already too long, and hopefully I can have more time to play and then climb out of mid diamond, right? Climb to like diamond 2 or something. But if not, then I'm gonna take a long break again, and hopefully the good things that happen in my real life can make up to the loss of fun that I could potentially gain by playing League, right? And thanks everybody for watching. I have not been streaming for a while, right? And one of the reasons that I was able to climb so fast was that I didn't stream, right? Streaming is one of the distractions as well, right? When I stream, I was able to only perform about 70% of my skill level, but by not streaming, I was able to focus 100%, right? And then take long breaks and all that. So anyway, we will see how future lead us, right? Again, thanks for watching. If you watch such a long video of mine, hope you are having fun or learn a thing or two or find this video interesting, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully soon. Okay, have a nice one, and peace.